يا حبيبي هذاك لسه بعد بنحط له الميكروفون. ولا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا محمد النبي الأمي وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. أما بعد. Dear brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome you back wherever you are. And welcome you back with this lecture, with your lecture Fatwa online. The first question tonight, the lady who's asking this question: my husband divorced me 4 times in different times. And then anyway I could go back to him or no? And the answer, Allah Azza wa Jalla said that divorce is twice: to hold in goodness or to leave in goodness. This is the one that you go back. The third one, Allah Azza wa Jalla said, if he divorced her, she cannot be back to him unless she marry someone else. And if he divorced her, it's okay to go back if they thought they're gonna keep Allah's boundaries. The first 2 that you could go back, meaning that the husband can bring her back as long as she is in the waiting time, because Allah says they are more prior to bring him back if they want to make correct. If they did not, then there is the small baynuna. He cannot go back to her except with a new contract and a new dowry. If he divorced her the 3rd time, then Allah said she had to marry someone, not a temporary marriage, it has to be a continuous marriage. But we need look at the circumstances of every divorce, because in divorce we cannot make a verdict from a distance. You have to sit down with the person. The husband need to sit down actually with the sheikh, with the imam, because he's the one who knows what his intention and what he said. So he need to take his to sit down with him and talk to him, to tell him that maybe a couple of those divorces did not happen. Wallahu alam. But from the distance, after the 3rd one, she is not allowed to go back to unless she get married again. So I need to have your husband to go and talk to someone who is knowledgeable and close by, to listen all the details, to know all the each circumstance, and then he can make him the fatwa of anything that, if possible. The other question, the questionnaire is asking if this if there is a divorce, the court came and don't we the sheikh or the Islamic Center, the Muslim judge, if they ruled with the divorce, is that the small baynuna? The tatliq is of force. At-talaq is from the husband. That's talaq. Tatliq is from the judge. And it has to be clear. There's after a dispute, so it can't be going back, whether it is for harm or for abuse, or he's not there, or he is in prison, whatever the reason that requires the divorce. And then the second question: don't we take the sheikh on the Islamic Center on the same thing of the Muslim? Yes, they are the replacement of the Muslim judge, but you need, in this country, there should be a civil divorce in the court, because in the masjid, there is no authority that force it. There is no authority whatsoever or a state that's going to be with it. But if it is a divorce, so some woman came to ask us in the Islamic Center, and we cannot fix the problem. We tell her, go to the courthouse, have the divorce, and then come back to us. This way we could do the Islamic divorce. And then we have the authority, then we have the power of the government to remind the person of Allah Azza wa Jal. If he agreed, then it's fine, we could correct what's between them. If not, then then it will be a divorce from an Islamic point of view. Could be khul', it could be divorce for harm. It depends on the circumstances that is presented to us and the investigation we do. A question here. What is the rule about part of the urine during the prayer after each because of a common disease? The general rule, brother and sister, those who have terminal diseases that don't have a specific time where they finish that, they, alhamdulillah, Allah made it very clear. Because every time it is the hardship brings the ease. So if you find yourself getting into this, then you have a lot of illness from Allah Azza wa Jal. He makes wudu for every prayer. Don't care about anything that could happen between them. Let him make he need to clean and make wudu, and if something come out, no problem, inshallah, until before another prayer comes in, then he need to renew his wudu. He make the istinja, which is the clean of the private part, and then the wudu after that. Allah don't want to give a burden on you, but He wants to purify you and to fulfill His bounty on you, so you might be grateful. Like question here, I bought a house in the United States, and it's for 30 years, and every month I pay $2,000, even though I have the whole money cash in the house, but I can't put it in the bank, so I could pay it all. It's against the law. Do I have to pay zakah, or is it money that is deserved that no zakah in it? First of all, look at those lawyers around you to say that you cannot pay the house cash and that you cannot do. This is not true. Just go to. I think you misinformed about this. But anyway, if it is like you're saying, and you have this money in the house in your ownership, the fatwa is that the loans that are long term only take the current installment. So you buy a house for 30 years and you put a red card for everybody who says, no, I have a house. No, only the current payment. After that, Allah Azza wa Jal, you have to pay that money you have. So don't prevent pay the installment, and then the rest is zakah money, inshallah. And spend, and don't fear any less. And know for certainty, no money is decreased by charity. Remember Allah saying, whatever you spend in the sake of Allah, Allah will replace it. And He is the best sustainer. And what the Prophet ﷺ said, if they are stopped paying the zakah, they will be stopped from the rain. It was not for the animals, they will not rain. The shaitan always promise you poverty and make you fear of it, but Allah is promising you forgiveness and a paradise is wide as between heavens and earth. The question is about the self struggle, self jihad in the prayers. Is there like a reward for it? Yes, of course. Allah said, there is nothing that you do except that Allah, in the sake of Allah. And there, as Allah said about those who cannot perform the jihad, but they are good in their intention, Allah will give them the whole reward as the one who are done. But I want you to know that this hardship of praying on a time, it will go very quickly. Then you will see after that the enjoyment of the prayers. The Prophet ﷺ used to say to Bilal, relieve us with it, not from it, relieve us with it, so they could enjoy life with the prayers. They enjoy being in that prayers. All the worship that might look hard in the beginning, if you are patient and you make yourself, you train yourself into this worship, it will go away, all the hardship will go away, and then you will find a beautiful sweetness in the act of worship that you do. The Prophet ﷺ said, the person who accepts Allah as the Lord and Islam as religion and Muhammad as the messenger, then Allah will give him the sweetness of faith. Someone said that someone made magic and it hurt me and I cured myself from it and it came back to me. What do I do? Well, go again with the cure and be certain whomever you are with that he is from the people of Sunnah who are known of good belief, who fear Allah. Those Allah Azza wa Jal open a lot of things for them. And the Shaykh is advising you to make sadaqah, charity. The Prophet ﷺ told us to cure yourself with the charity, by paying charity. And remember, if there is any calamities because of a sin, so ask Allah Azza wa Jal for forgiveness. Continue on repentance to Allah Azza wa Jal and stick on it and be pure into doing it, and you will find from Allah's mercy what you don't expect and did not even come. I have a question here. I don't know if you heard about PUBG. And I have every different people asking. There's a new update. They added an idol. Every time they prostrate to him, then he will give them a reward. That's the latest of this game. Well, to rule on this is different than this is an electronic game that unfortunately a lot of our youth are attached to it, whether it's men or women, and actually led to violence in a lot of cases. But before we go in details, remember that on all games, electronic, it is permissible, but with a condition. They should not have anything haram, and should not stop you from an obligation toward Allah, and don't take most of your time, because your time is your life. Your life is nothing but a few days. If some of it is gone, then part of you is gone, and you're about to be gone completely. So wasting the time is worse than the sin, because that wasting keep you away from Allah, and death keep you away from your family. what a person could be punished for his sins, that he will be getting this addiction to these games that takes all his time. It is part of punishment from Allah to the servant. Ibn al-Qayyim mentioned in the punishment of the sins that you don't have the success and the corruption of the heart and the laziness of the thoughts and the waste of time, and people gone away from you, and you're strange to Allah Azza wa Jal, and to be away from the da'at to Allah. Now, if there is a shirk in this game, something that is full of shirk between the there are so many websites about and they are very successful actually in making people away from Islam. Some people looked into it and studied it. They said 13% of our youth, they fell into these websites because the big disaster right now we are seeing on the internet that goes to our houses, and one of it that all these websites that spread the shirk, the disbelief, and it goes gently without feeling it to our youth, to our women, to our children. So be careful of what you see on the internet. Your youth and your kids are a trust in your neck. You are responsible for them. And the shirk, as we say and we stress on and we re-stress again, it will void all action. Allah said, and if they have committed shirk, then everything will be voided. And Allah said, if you have committed shirk, then all your work is done. And Allah worship and be among the grateful. You've seen on the website, whoever did this is big. I don't call people as kufr. People are simple. They need education. They need to be going back than to claim that they are kafir. This will not solve the problem. You have to deal with this problem of clarification, of education, to educate people, of show the knowledge, the right knowledge to these people. So anybody who found himself in it, don't feel despair. There is ways out. To describe those who do this act as kafir and this, no, or mushrik, no. I don't think this action itself, it is an act of shirk, but I will not call the people mushrik or disbelievers, but we are hoping that we will be able to clarify things to them, that we'll be able to get into them so they will be back on the right path. Get yourself into explaining to people, to debate people instead of calling them names. And this is the battle that we need to take, not the battle of pointing fingers. Someone with a calamity, very hard calamity. He's saying, I'm asking you for a son of mine. I left him with an American that Muslim, and there is no Islamic contract. We got married in a court, and we have divorced about 10 years ago. I regret this act that is hurting me. The child still with his mom most of these years. I tried with him so many times to take him to me, to cover him with to tell him about Islam. He refused completely to even listen to me. and he don't even come close to me. I ask Allah Azza wa Jal to guide him. I don't know what to do. He is on the religion of his mother, as if he's saying whatever that companion said at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Some of you enter the hellfire, and I'm looking at, and that's at the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Because Allah said there's no compulsory in religion, has cleared someone in the Ansar didn't have a child. She said, if I have a child, I will make him a Jew. So they got kids and they became Jews. So when the Jews they wanted to leave, they said, this is my son, how could he leave? He chose to be a Jew, they have to go with them. And there is no compulsory in religion. Part of me going to the heaven and I'm looking at it. No compulsory in religion. It's shown the cliff. So we are saying to one with this problem, may Allah, don't feel despair. Don't feel despair and keep on the dua to Allah Azza wa Jal. Don't stop. Those who knock the door of Allah, they are about to open it. To open that door to Allah, where Allah will accept your keep making prayers at night. And remember, Allah has had the hearts of everybody between two of his fingers. He flip it any way he wants. So maybe the person you are, the calamity you're in, there is a big ease that comes after it. What Ibn Abbas said, when Allah said no compulsory in, and the story I just said with that lady. So when the Bani Nadir left, they went to the Prophet ﷺ, they said, our kids. So Allah said, no compulsory in religion. So say Mujbir. So whomever wants to go with them, and whomever to enter Islam, stay with us. What is the rule about praying something is not slaughtered Islamically if I can't find an Islamic way? Did you know that this is not slaughtered in Islamic way? You cannot be certain. So look at the decision of Amjad's decision about the meat that in this country. Second of all, even if it is the place is far away, try to go once a month to that faraway place and try to get enough for you. Third of all, there is replacement, there is fish and others. So don't put me into a wall. You can live without meat, and you can live with the meat from other places. And there is a replacement too, and there is farmers. You could go and get a freezer. Try to. So if you decide to stay here, you need to adjust. Just like you do all other your daily lives. Do your religious part too. Whomever fear Allah, Allah will give him an ease. I don't think that you could be, you can't eat. If I tell you this is haram, then I can't do that for you. Nor would I accept it. Don't eat the haram that you are certain with. But I don't think that you are. If you are mayyit and it's not slaughter, you are saying, you're telling me, do I eat the dead corpus? No. And Allah had made it very clear, it is forbidden. So I can't tell you to eat it. But the question is whatever you're saying that it's not slaughtered Islamically, is, but no, look at the way it is slaughtered. It's not an Islamically. It is not. And if you live without, you could live without meat, don't worry. There's the other meat you could do. And researchers said, someone comes to me, certain want me to do the research for him, and this one graduated, he wants me to write for him the research. He take it from me, take it to the university, and he will get his master or PhD. Is that true? So when I debated him, let's differentiate between two things. If you are just a researcher on the computer and you are doing technical stuff, the researcher is the one who think about it, who is directing this research. He wants you to just gather to bring it to me in a. This is secretarial research, not a problem. But to say you are doing the whole thing, you are the one who gathered this scientific matter, and who organize it, and who do the research for it, and then you are the one who is a researcher, not him. So never claim it with them. He is full of what he don't have, and he have false clothes. As she said, the one. Somebody asked the Prophet, is it okay? I want to, someone wants to get even with her other wife, his husband, wife, is to tell her, oh, my husband gave me this, and he didn't, just to make her jealous. The Prophet ﷺ told her to fulfill yourself with what you don't have. Is someone is wearing the false hood clothes. So if it is just that action or that part of it is just secretarial stuff, to do the wording, to do to make the presentation, that's not what the research part. This is the salt. This is the spices that you put on the food. But the content of the research, it is from the researcher himself. He's the one who brings the data. He's the one who's giving it to you. Is it okay for this to swear on his wife that he will not close to her for a certain period? This is a sick person, and he needs to go to a hospital. This is not normal. This should go to a doctor, a psychological. Someone like this, he has a problem that needs working. There is a problem. If he is sick, then you have to look into all the details. So you need someone as a doctor to make the analysis before we can make a fatwa. If a normal person, is it okay? No, it's not. Allah said, don't follow everyone who claims swear, who is humiliated, who is low, and you should not make abundance of swearing. Allah said, protect your health, protect your swearing. So don't swear too much. If you did, make sure you do it right to fulfill. Unless you have swear to Allah and you find something better, then pay the kafara for that and do what is good. The second question, someone said, I live in Canada and I swear to Allah and I forgive. Do I have to find 10 needy Muslims? Can I give it to one good? How many dollars in us? I don't find any Muslim poor. I don't know any Islamic institution in Canada. The food that Allah has to in the siyam or in the kafarat of swearing, the one that you give as kafara in the Muslim community. It's very easy. Go to the masjid, clear to you, and put that and in an envelope. Tell them this is for kafara, and the masjid will take care of it in your behalf. And don't worry about it. You have an Islamic center. Unless you are the one who deserted the masjid, I'm telling you, or the masjid in this country are like Noah's Ark. Whomever go in it is safe, and whomever deserted it will drown. So don't be among the people who are leaving the group where the wolf will eat you. To feed 10 needy, it came with the feeding. So see what is if you want to see what is the average of a meal, you go to average how much will it cost you, and you measure it that way. Or so it's like 3 kilos of rice, or one meal that is filling. And you have to look in the number. Allah had stress on the number, then there is interest. But sometimes could be in one family, and wife and his husband, and 8 or 2 families. And the easiest way, go to an Islamic center and give it to them in an envelope and say as kafara. What is the rule? Who is retired, he took money and put in a bank with interest until he found, and he can do that if it is an Islamic bank. There's several Muslim banks where he can do that, and he live from whatever interest they give him, or the profit. Actually, it's not a faida, but it is from the investment. And it is the profit that comes every month. But anyway, that's one. Second of all, this money, the minimum that you have to pay zakah. Some people think if you have some money, you put it in a bank, he don't have to pay. No, that's not true. You have to pay the zakah. If there is no Islamic bank and you're a Muslim, then put it in good shares in some companies. I'm sure you could find someone with a clean companies, and there is investment companies that provide to you consultation about Islamic investment. I work as a teacher, and I get data from different books outside. At the end, I put the name of the books that I took from it, and I sell it. Is that okay? Yes, if you have the knowledge, it is something that is keep going in generations, and the future generation can learn from this, as long as you follow the copyrights that is protected. Someone said, I have a friend made another, if something happened, he will slaughter a big udhiyah in Eid al-Adha. And it happened what he made another, but his money does not allow him to do the slaughtering like a cow, like as he wanted to do. We tell him, serve of Allah, the obligation upon the capability, no obligation with incapability. So you wait until ease. Allah ordered his the ones who take a lot to wait until ease, and he is more generous. He could make you have it, you immediately pay. If not, wait until you have an ease, inshallah, with the concern to fulfill. Whomever made to another to obey Allah, let him do it. And the Prophet ﷺ criticized those who make another and do not fulfill. The Prophet ﷺ said, the best generation is my generation, and the one after, and the one after, and then after it. The Prophet ﷺ said 2 generations or 3, and then he said, and after that, people who make witness and they cannot be trusted, and they make another and do not fulfill the another. And he complimented those who did. They fulfill their another, and they fear the day that its evil was so hard. But if someone's capable and do not fulfill his another, he is among the hypocrites, and Allah will put in his heart hypocrisy until he meet Allah. And some who ask Allah, if Allah gives him from his goodness, they will be among the righteous. When he gave them, they were stingy when they stay with. So Allah fulfilled them after that hypocrisy. So he in their heart until they meet him. So it is very, very serious. Don't put yourself on something unless you are capable of doing it. From what they have disobeyed Allah, broke their promise with Allah Azza wa Jal, and they lied to Allah. But if he is looking for an ease in the future, but if he, from what people look at, from that there is no ways for him, there is an exit for this, is to obey the kafarat al-yamin. For the hadith, whomever another that he cannot do it, is kafara, is the kafarat of al-yamin, of the swearing, to feed 10 needy. Is the gold zakah, is it every year? Yes. And the money, the same thing. With every new year, you have to do it. On the cultivation for the cultivation. But if you keep it in the house, that's it. Even if it is 50 years, you only pay it once. But the money, no, every year. If it is the same, every year you have to pay the zakah on it. Even the same thing with the gold or silver. As long as it goes to the If it is less than nisab, then you know zakah on it.
اللهم اهدنا سواء السبيل يا رب. شيخ في سؤال غير يا حبيبي.
نعم ما شو I hope that when people write a question to read it, because sometimes it doesn't make sense. I have a friend who have some money. He have no way to invest this money and no income. He put the money in one of the banks that's non-Muslim. Then he need to put it in a checking account. He should not leave it. If there is interest, take it and take it to public needs. The haram money, shouldn't eat it or shouldn't return it. The haram money, shouldn't eat it, shouldn't eat it. And shouldn't return it. So don't leave it for the bank, because they're helping them into haram. Or it will put in something that could fight Allah and His Messenger. So we shouldn't do that. You take it and spend it into public avenues to get away from the haram, not as a charity, because Allah is good. Don't accept anything but good. Do you get a reward? At least you get the reward of staying away from haram, not as a charity but as to stay away from haram. We'll stop in here inshallah. We'll continue Monday inshallah. So
إلى المغرب والعشاء في هذا الترتيب الفتاوى قبل المغرب الساعة 7 في تكساس بتوقيت الوسط التمهيدي درس التفسير إن شاء الله في الأسبوع القادم المحاضرة الرابعة من تفسير سورة الأعراف التحريم. أسأل الله أن يشرح صدوركم وأن ينور قلوبكم وأن يحملنا ذنوبكم أحمل من وأجملها إنه ولي ذلك والقادر عليه. صلى الله على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت.
بدك التلفزيون؟ يحملوا لك إياه؟
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله